The New York Yankees just showed their strength in a convincing 10-2 victory over the Oakland Athletics. And if you think it was just another win in the season, think again. This could be the turning point of a decisive moment. Is this dominant performance a sign that the Yankees are about to make a bold move that could change the course of the season? The win against the Athletics was much more than just numbers on the scoreboard. It exemplifies what the Yankees can do when they start aligning their pieces correctly. This was not a game of luck. With a mix of energy, power at the plate, and strategy on the mound, the New York team truly imposed itself. Aaron Judge, as always, was an imposing presence at the plate, sending the fans into a frenzy with his unique ability. However, it was Ben Riso who shone brightly on this night, with an impressive 5-4-5 performance. Scoring 2 runs and driving in 2 others, Riso showed that he is more than ready to establish himself as a key piece of the Yankees. Not only did he boost his own confidence, but also that of the entire team. But perhaps the most important figure of the game was Will Warren, the young pitcher who had already been in great form, put on a show of control on the mound, throwing 7.1 innings with only 1 run allowed and 4 hits, while recording 7 strikeouts. His performance not only kept the Athletics from reacting, but also set the pace for the Yankees throughout the game. And that's what really matters. Warren didn't just deliver a technical performance. He helped solidify the team's rhythm, ensuring the Athletics never found the confidence needed to mount a comeback. Looking at the Yankees, it's clear that the team is finding its form, but it is still not completely free from the ups and downs typical of a season. The 10-2 victory was solid, but the Yankees know they need more than just good individual performances to ensure long-term success. While the team is showing visible improvement, consistency issues remain. The team needs to find a way to maintain this level of play in every game to avoid falling into a cycle of unwanted fluctuations. The lack of consistency could be the difference between a successful season and a missed opportunity. However, this win against the Athletics is a good step in the right direction. Meanwhile, the Athletics, who are struggling with their standing in the standings, are clearly not in a good phase. Their 10-2 loss is just a reflection of a series of problems they need to fix if they want to reverse their situation. With a record of 21 wins and 19 losses, the Athletics are falling short of expectations and need significant adjustments to get back in the fight. But for the Yankees, the big question now is what comes next. What does this victory mean for the Yankees' immediate future? It's clear the team is growing and developing, but the real question is whether this performance is just the beginning of a more significant rise, or if the team will stagnate again. Even with good performances from key players like Aaron Judge and Ben Riso, the Yankees still need to make adjustments to stay consistent. But something about the 10-2 win over the Athletics gives the impression that the New York franchise is just starting to find its true identity. However, the team cannot afford to wait too long to make important decisions. There are rumors behind the scenes that the Yankees are considering a big move before the trade deadline. If this is the case, it would be a bold move, and the question becomes, who would the Yankees be willing to trade? The team clearly needs more depth, and a trade could be the key to filling the gaps. They already have good players, but to ensure they have enough to make it to the end of the season, it's possible that the front office will need to make strategic decisions about which pieces could be moved. Fans are watching closely, and the franchise needs to act quickly to avoid missing this window of opportunity. Now, a big decision is approaching for the Yankees. The trade deadline is fast approaching, and the pressure on the team is high. They can continue moving forward with the current roster and hope the chemistry continues to develop, or they could decide to seek a key player to add a vital piece to the team. If the Yankees opt for the second option, it could drastically change the team's dynamic, and the team could become even stronger and harder to defeat. However, if the team decides not to make a trade, they will need to continue refining their consistency and hope their players stay healthy. So what do you think? Are the Yankees really ready to take that bold step and pursue a significant trade despite still playing at a high level? Despite the dominant win, short-term, does the team still need more time to consolidate its strength before making such an important decision? Leave your opinion in the comments. We want to know what you think about the future of the Yankees, and how you see the team performing in the coming months. The convincing 10-2 victory over the Oakland Athletics was a clear example of the New York Yankees' growing strength this season. But when we look at the bigger picture, the question is, how far will this win, no matter how overwhelming it was, actually take the team? What seemed like a simple triumph could, in fact, be just the tip of the iceberg of something much bigger happening behind the scenes of the franchise. As the team celebrates on the field, with big names like Aaron Judge and Ben Riso shining in the victory, the real story is unfolding in the meetings and decisions of the front office. Ben Riso's performance, going 5 for 5, scoring 2 runs and driving in 2 others, is not just a reflection of the team's good moment, but a sign that the Yankees roster is strengthening. And with more players showing consistency, the team's future looks increasingly promising. But is that enough to get the Yankees back to winning the World Series? The question that now looms over front office is clear. The team needs more than just good individual performances. They need balance and depth, especially in a season that promises to be unpredictable. The Yankees' big concern, however, is not just the offensive game. The team still faces a massive challenge in their pitching rotation. The loss of Gerrit Cole, the ace of the staff, to Tommy John surgery was a devastating blow. When the news was confirmed, MLB fans and experts were shocked by the impact of this injury. The expectation is that Cole won't return to mound until 2026, after a lengthy recovery period. And for a team like the Yankees, which relies on a solid rotation to make it to the playoffs and eventually the title, Cole's, despite still playing at a high level, immediate obstacle, represents a short-term. It raises questions about the entire team's dynamics for the future. With Cole out of action, the roster needed to reinvent itself. And that's where the Yankee strategy for reinforcements comes into play. The addition of Max Fried, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, and Devin Williams was an important step in strengthening the team. But these moves didn't solve all the problems. The pitching rotation, even with names like Fried and Carlos Rodon, still lacks a key piece that can take the lead on the mound in the long term. And this is crucial, especially for a franchise so focused on titles like the Yankees. Now, the pressure on the New York front office is mounting. With the trade deadline approaching, the Yankees can't afford to wait much longer to solve this problem. What seemed like a team with a dominant offensive performance and a few strong rotation pieces suddenly finds itself in a situation where the need to reinforce the rotation has become urgent. And that's when rumors began to surface, pointing to a name that could be the solution for the Yankees. Sonny Gray, pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. Gray, who signed a $75 million contract in 2023, appears to be the kind of player the Yankees need now and in the future. With a 3.50 ERA in his first 8 games of this season and consistency that has followed him throughout his career, Gray has become a favorite in trade rumors. More than just a good pitcher, Gray brings valuable experience with 13 years in the league and 3 All-Star selections. He would fit well into the Yankees' rotation, filling the gap left by Cole and providing the stability the team needs to compete at the highest level. But the question is, will the Yankees actually go after Gray? He has a contract worth $25 million for 2025 and $35 million for 2026, with a $30 million option for 2027. The Yankees have the financial resources to make this acquisition, but what will they have to give in return? Is the franchise willing to part with key assets to acquire the pitcher? The possibility of Gray being a key piece, both for present and the future, seems very strong, but there are other factors to consider. The decision to invest in the Cardinals pitcher could be seen as a strategic move to not only shore up the rotation in the short term, but also to ensure a solid foundation for the coming years, while Gerrit Cole recovers and returns in an uncertain format. Furthermore, we cannot forget that besides Gray, there are other names circulating behind the scenes. The pressure to reinforce the rotation is great, and the Yankees know they cannot afford to wait too long to act. The trade deadline is fast approaching, and any misstep could mean the difference between a promising season and a failure. But looking at Gray's situation, it's clear that he is one of the most viable options with experience, consistency, and the kind of playoff mentality the Yankees need. However, it's not just the immediate future that is at stake. The franchise's long-term strategy needs to be taken into account. How do the Yankees plan to structure their team for the coming years, considering Cole's injury and the need for more depth in the rotation? Sonny Gray is an immediate answer to an urgent problem, but he could be a much more lasting solution. His arrival could not only improve the rotation this season, but ensure the Yankees have a strong and reliable pitching staff for the upcoming seasons, which is essential for the continued success of the franchise. As the trade deadline approaches, the Yankees find themselves faced with a crucial decision. The 10-2 victory over the Athletics might just be the beginning of a more exciting journey. But for that to happen, more than just good individual performances will be required. The addition of Sonny Gray could be the move that seals the Yankees' rotation's fate, but only time will tell. What do you think? Are the Yankees ready to make this trade? Or will the franchise need more time to find the ideal solution for their rotation? Leave your opinion in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't miss a chance to stay up to date with all the behind-the-scenes moves and rumors shaking up the MLB world. Make sure to follow us to find out what's coming next.